Hello, Aaron. I know I've never made a video response to you before, and watched your most recent videos. And actually, I've been thinking about making a video response for a while. Because you're that great of a person. Sorry, I've been eating Tostitos. But yeah, you truly are. And you shine in everything you do. And I know you're going through a tough time, and it's awkward. And I know sometimes I like to tell myself that why do I have to suffer so much when there's already so much suffering going on in the world? Sorry. But, my question is, are you sure you're doing what's right for you? Is this truly going to make you happy? And if it is, then you have my blessing. But if you're doing it just because you feel like you're stagnant, you're inert, because I know I'm talking from my perspective, but for me, it wouldn't be enough. Because you spoke about being stuck in between. Not moving forward. And although an orgy may be moving forward, for me personally, I would still feel like I would be stuck somewhere in between. And I couldn't bear that. I couldn't bear the thought of someday having to go to a hospital in case of an emergency, being rushed in, unconscious, and them seeing me as a woman initially, and then that truth being stripped away by a genetic lie, genetic abnormality. And then the perceptions afterwards. And maybe it's just because I've heard, from the veterans, the girls that have come before us, our predecessors, their horror stories about, getting beat up and then being left on the street, and then when an ambulance comes and, they start prepping the person and checking the injuries and everything, and they find that one default, their perception and the way they treat us changes. And I've heard people's horror stories about, being in the nursing homes and whatnot, and not getting proper care because people are afraid to go near them, because they're not complete and whole women. And I don't know, and I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Girl, you know me. As long as it doesn't affect the 2 simple rules that I live by, you have all my blessings. Does it hurt anyone against their will? I don't think it does. And are all parties fully aware of the ramification of their actions? And I do believe they do. So as long as this is what will truly make you happy, then you have my blessing. You truly do. So now, let me get back to praising you. Oh, great Krishna. No, but I do feel like I owe you a great deal of gratitude. Even though I was well on my transition, and even though I had a support group before, isn't it good to know that you're helping the next generation, that you're putting yourself out there? I know when I first started awakening to who I truly was, I was bombarded with she's a Jerry Springer, and I tried to look up transsexual on the computer, and all I got was, a lot of porn sites, and it was very hard to sift through and find a couple pieces of information that could actually help me. So I think it's great the fact that you and I are putting ourselves out there and our stories out there to let the future generations and the mainstream society know that we are just normal human girls, that we're as dysfunctional as everyone else, and as perfectly abnormal as everyone else, just like the rest of society. And I think that's important. So yes, I truly do want to thank you. And I know I'm stroking your ego, and I'm sure your girlfriend already thinks you have a big enough head. No, I'm sure she doesn't, because she loves you. And I can understand your fear about never having the ability to orgasm again. And maybe that's one of the reasons it's so different between you and me. Because as is, I already can't really do that with a partner. But yeah, I would be terrified of losing the ability to orgasm. But with every SRS surgery, there's always that risk. So, knowing you, you've probably shopped around and you found someone that's done work before. And usually, orgies. I'm sorry, but yeah, I've been munching on ice cream and whatnot, as well as other stuff. So, excuse me. But yeah, usually an orgy is a fairly non-invasive surgery. It's practically outpatient. You have it done 2 hours later, they let you go. It's not that big of a deal. And you'll be fine. Can't remember if they use a local or generalized anesthetic, but I've known not several, I've known 3 girls that have had orgies, and one of them I could definitely say went on to live a somewhat male life for several more years before that was no longer enough, and the other 2 were very happy with them, their orgies. They still had complete function, though one of the girls did have regrets later on, because the way the orgy was done prevented her from going further in her transition. Once again, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just trying to reply and give you the information that I know, and to let you know that I love you, and I want you to be safe no matter what decision you make. And as long as you've done the research, which I know you have, because you're you, then you will be. So, this is Ariana Linfales, just letting you know that I love you from the bottom of my heart. I hope your girlfriend doesn't get jealous.